Hey, beloveds. Last night I finished reading a book that I had been meaning to read for a couple of years and finally picked it up, and it was exactly the right book at the right time. I'm so in love with it that in a minute I'm going to read you some beautiful words from it, almost a paragraph full that speaks so deeply to what I'm thinking about our calling in this world right now. It's called Hijab Butch Blues by Lamya H. And it is their memoir about coming to the United States as a teenager and coming to school here and coming out to themselves finally and finding a queer Muslim community and finding a way to be engaged about trying to reverse racism and homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, and all of it, and building a community that really is a model for the type of world that they hope we can all create together. And this is how they describe this world that we're striving for. And I'm finding that to have the vision itself and to keep reminding myself of the vision, to know that we're not alone in holding this vision, even when the dream of it might seem very distant right now. It still gives me hope. It gives me motivation to keep working on it. And the way Lamya frames this vision of the world that we dream about and that we're working towards really helps me know what I'm to do right now. So this is what they say. This better world. This is the world I'm fighting for from inside the whale. They do a whole beautiful long metaphor of an interpretation of the story that we would say of Jonah or of Yunus in Islam, inside the whale. This is the world I want to be birthed into, they say. A world that is kinder, more generous, more just. A world that takes care of the marginalized, the poor, the sick. Where wealth and resources are redistributed, where reparations are made for the harms of history, where stolen land is given back, where the environment is cared for and respected, and all species are cared for and respected, where conflicts are dealt with in gentleness, where people take care of each other and feel empowered to be their truest selves, where anger is allowed and joy is allowed and fun is allowed and quietness is allowed and loudness is allowed and being wrong is allowed, and everything is rooted in love. And maybe that's an unattainable utopia, Lamya says, but I've found a few smaller versions of this world, and they refer to the communities that they've described throughout this beautiful book. And they feel like they affirm that these smaller versions of the wider world that we hope to build with all those qualities I just read, these smaller versions are paths towards that aspirational world, that beautiful world, where all these qualities, conflicts dealt with in gentleness, and all species cared for and respected, and everyone seen and encouraged to be our truest and best selves. So here's the thing, Lamya themselves does a fair amount of community organizing and activism. And that is a little less a part of my everyday life. Well, it's a lot less a part of my everyday life than it was a few years ago, because I'm in a different place in my life, and I have a different calling, really. I still believe in the power of the people. I still believe in the power of community organizing. I still know that we need to show up. We need to vote in every election, and we need to show up in order to bring about the changes and the movement in the direction of more love, more justice, more peace, more compassion. And at the same time, I also feel that a big part of my calling is to work on these smaller versions of this world that we're trying to create. I think that's what my call is with the congregation I'm serving, which is already such a beautiful, beloved community, working on all of those qualities. And with my own family, my friends and chosen family. I hope that wherever you are, whoever you're in touch with, you too are striving to create this kind of world, these kinds of relationships, believing in them, tending to them, recognizing the joy and the fun and the anger and the loudness and the quietness that are all allowed because everything is centered in love. I love you. Let's keep building towards this world. Let's keep creating this kind of world in the here and now, in every space that we enter. I love you. I'll see you soon.